The day is finally here. The beginning of Act 3 is upon us. That means a new RGX bundle, a new battle pass, a new agent Fade, and most importantly, a new patch to bring it all in. What is going on, ProGuides family? It is your host, Sergeant Frost, and today we have the patch 4.08 rundown. If you want to start off Act 3 on the right foot and get a head start learning the new agent Fade, then you should check out our website ProGuides.com, where our Radiant and Immortal level coaches will help you learn the ins and outs of this new agent. The link is in the description, and head on over if you want to get a jump start on Act 3. There are some monumental changes to Valorant's agents coming up in this patch, so fasten your seatbelts and let's break it all down. First things first for agent changes. Fade will be going live as soon as the patch drops and Episode 3 begins in your region. Fade is the new Agent 19 releasing today, and she will be the first initiator we have gotten since KO's release last year. Fade is a tracking agent that specializes in hunting down enemies with her information gathering, locking down enemies with her CC, and frankly, playing to her lore's expectations and being a scary fear-based agent that will track you down and hunt you around the map. Fade's kit does have a lot going on inside of it with abilities that have multiple layers and in-game functions. If you want a more in-depth look at how Fade works, be sure to stay on the lookout for our only Fade guide you'll ever need coming out really soon. Now let's get into the agent balance changes, starting off with JETT. Starting with the biggest agent change in a while, let's discuss these JETT nerfs and what they mean for her character. JETT's Tailwind is getting quite a change that many people believe will negatively impact her ability to be as mobile and elusive as she used to be in the past. Let's look at the patch descriptions of the ability changes. Upon pressing E, JETT consumes her Tailwind charge, and after a 0.75 second delay, activates a 12-second window where she will be able to dash on the next key press. JETT's Tailwind charge still can be regained with 2 kills. To keep parity with the changes to JETT's dash, the functionality of the dash during knife rounds in escalation will be adjusted. Wow, so JETT, the agent that seemed untouchable to the Riot dev team for a long time now, is finally getting the nerf hammer brought down on her. I would say you hate to see it, but let's quickly look at this graphic on screen and what the devs said about the nerf. To sum up this statement from the devs, they knew that JETT had a core problem with how reliable her dash used to be. JETT was able to have a get out of jail free card if she used her dash defensively, and she had a way to instantly seal someone's fate if she dashed forward and used it offensively. The devs wanted JETT's dash to be more fair and gave her a window to be punished if she used her dash too liberally. So how did they go about fixing this issue? They made it so that JETT now has to be proactive about using her dash and not reactive. JETT players now have to have foresight and anticipate a situation in a round where they would need to use their dash. That way, they can prime the dash by pressing it once to activate the ability, and then in the next 12 seconds, if she needs to use her dash, she can press E like normal and dash away. Just to clarify, a lot of people in the community thought that you would be able to simply circumvent this change by double tapping E. You will not be able to do that as there is a 0.75 second delay between priming the ability and then being able to use the dash. These JETT nerfs are quite the change, and it will be interesting to see how she fares as an explosive duelist moving on into the future. The devs are giving Neon some quality of life changes as they want to make sure her kit is as smooth and intuitive as possible. That way, more players will give her a chance at potentially learning her and then adding her to their agent pool. For a general Neon change, her battery energy received upon killing an enemy has increased from 25% to 100%. This is a nice change that should give Neon some speed incentives after killing an enemy. Increasing her battery charge on kill back to 100% means that she now has speed available to quickly run away after a kill. For Neon's high gear, the slide cannot be cast during a equip delay, and velocity restriction is now removed. Neon can now also slide sideways and forward, and it only requires that she is currently moving. And her energy drain is being increased from 6.7 per second to 10 per second. High gear is getting some changes that should help reduce her velocity restriction. The devs have stated that they hope that these changes help with making her slide feel more natural when getting in and out of fights. We believe these slide changes in particular are great for Neon's mobility and agility, as she now has more consistent ways to divert with her slide to keep her safe and further pursue an enemy. And for her last change, Neon's fast lane wall damage has been removed. The devs have stated that they want fast lane to be a more attractive option for Neon. We interpret this as they want Neon's teammates to not be hesitant to push with her fast lane and to not be afraid of taking damage from the wall if they need to get out or if they want to peek through quickly. This new change around the ability should give Neon players a lot more incentive to use it, since there is no longer kickbacks to your team's health if they want to get involved with it. Oh boy, Sova is getting some nerfs to 2 of his most important abilities this patch. Let's take a deeper look and see what the devs have planned for the Russian Hunter. For his Owl drone, the duration has been reduced from 10 to 7 seconds. The health of the drone has been reduced from 125 to 100. For the dart reveal, the number of pings it does is now down to 2 from 3. The initial delay before the first ping was increased from 1.2 seconds to 1.6 seconds, and the delay between the first to second ping stays the same at 1.2 seconds. For quality of life changes on the drone, the devs have changed the crosshair color to green to better stand out against the white HUD. They have removed the delay on target hit confirmation text, and the confirmation now remains on the player's HUD when coming out of the drone. It also now remains on screen for 2 seconds instead of 1. The devs have adjusted the audio on the drone dart hits for Sova and the player hit to make confirmations more recognizable. And finally, they have fixed a bug with the owl drone when the dart cooldown UI element would not properly update after tagging an opponent. These drone changes, while unfortunate to see, are fair in their own right. Sova's drone is nothing but free info, and he only needs to invest 400 credits and his own time into using it. Considering how useful this drone is to Sova's info gathering game, hitting some of its usability qualities like its duration, HP, and taking away one of its pings is a fair trade when you consider how powerful this ability is when used right. Sova's drone is still very usable. It just has a bit more counterplay around it so that enemies won't be completely screwed if they get spotted or even worse, tagged by it. For Sova's final change, his shock dart's damage has now been decreased from 90 to 75. The radial damage has been scaled in accordance with the new max damage. The shock dart damage changes still allow Sova to kill an enemy with 2 near direct hits of the shock darts. But since radial damage is now a bit weaker, it will be harder to kill an opponent by barely tagging them with the edge of this ability. A new quality of life change is coming to the game. JETT's Blade Storm, Raze's Showstopper, and Sova's Hunter's Fury will now show how much ammo they have left when equipped. For competitive changes, 5-stack queues are getting slightly adjusted. The devs have reduced rank rating gain loss penalty for different 5-stack configurations. If everyone in the party is between Iron 2 to Diamond 2, no RR penalty will happen if within normal grouping. And there is a 25% RR penalty for all players if any player falls outside of the normal grouping. If anyone in your party is Diamond 3 to Immortal 3 but no one in your party is Radiant, there is a 25% RR penalty for all players. If anyone in your party is Radiant, there is a 75% RR penalty for all players. And finally, the devs have tuned matchmaking once again to reduce wait times for 5 stacks. For agent bug fixes, the devs have fixed a bug where JETT could find herself unable to use abilities or weapons when using Tailwind immediately after depleting her Blade Storm daggers. They have also fixed a bug where Yoru could teleport out of bounds when using Gate Crash. And finally, they have fixed various exploits allowing Yoru to use weapons before fully decloaking at the end of his ultimate. For a final performance change, the devs have fixed a bug in the shooting range where bots would respawn unarmed. Well guys, that's all we have for the patch 4.08 rundown. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing to our channel. Also, don't forget to check out ProGuides.com to gain some access to some truly amazing coaching. This has been your host Sergeant Frost, and good luck on the grind in Act 3.